Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode. When a stranger gives food to kids outside of school, a teacher decides to do something about it. When he finally gets the guy in the act and is about to call the police, the guy tells him something shocking. When Mr. Jones was making lessons in his office, it was like any other day. Near his desk was a window that let him see what was going on outside the school. 10 years ago, Mr. Jones became an elementary school teacher at the school. He loved every minute of teaching his children new things. He was a great teacher because he was always hungry to learn and loved to share what he knew. On this day, Mr. Jones was looking out the window when he saw a stranger standing in front of the school gate. He was talking to a big group of kids and giving them candy. He looked at the unknown man from head to toe and wondered, "Who's that?" Mr. Jones' heart skipped a beat when he didn't know the man. The scene he was looking at made him think of the news story he had seen on TV that morning. The local government has heard more than once that kids were rushed to hospitals after eating deadly lollipops. The police still don't know who did this cruel thing, the voice of the news reporter played over and over in Mr. Jones' head. But what if? Oh no! I have to save the students before it's too late, he shouted as he jumped up and ran out the door. But by the time he got to the school's main gate, it was too late. The stranger had already left. Mr. Jones looked behind the trees and walked to the end of the street, but he couldn't find the guy anywhere. "Don't eat any of the candy," Mr. Jones told the kids to be careful. "Don't take anything from people you don't know. Give them to me right away." The scared students gave Mr. Jones all the candy right away and watched as he threw it all in the trash. The kids were scared when they saw the worry in his eyes, so they promised not to take anything from strangers. Mr. Jones didn't go back to his office. Instead, he ran to the principal's office to tell him what had happened. "Mr. Albert, I need to talk to you about something important," Mr. Jones said to the director. "Sure," he said with a smile. "Please sit down. I just saw a man give our kids candy outside of the school. I went there right away to try to catch him, but he got away," Mr. Jones said. "The school needs to do something. Our kids are in danger from that man." The director said, "I understand your worry, but the school can't control what goes on outside its walls. All I can do is tell the police about it and let them take care of it. But I don't think the cops will do much, because all they saw the man do was give lollipops to kids." Mr. Jones said, "We don't have any proof against him." "Let the police deal with it, Mr. Jones," the director told him. "I'd suggest that you focus on your lesson plans instead of the stranger." Even after she left the principal's office, the worried teacher was still afraid that her children were in danger. He was sure that the cops wouldn't do anything, so he chose to do it himself. The next day, Mr. Jones got to school early and hid by the gate, hoping to see the stranger again. He waited for a few minutes and was about to give up when he saw a man carrying a bag of candy walk toward the gate. When the man opened his bag to look inside, Mr. Jones jumped out of hiding and grabbed his hand so he couldn't run away. "I already know what you are up to," the man was yelled at by Mr. Jones. "Let me go, please," begged the man. "It was just. I know you've been giving our kids candy that is bad for them. I don't know what bad plans you've been trying to hide. I'm going to call the cops right now and give you to them." The man shouted, "Please listen to me. I'm not here to hurt these kids. I only wanted to hang out with them. Stop making things up," Mr. Jones said as he pulled out his phone from his pocket. "Please don't call the cops," the man begged. "I always wanted to be a teacher like you, but life got in the way. I'm ready to tell you my story. Please believe in me." When Mr. Jones heard what the stranger said, he put his phone back in his pocket because he knew the man wasn't lying. He could tell the man was honest by looking into his eyes. "What's your backstory?" Mr. Jones asked, letting go of the hand of the stranger. The man said, "Thank you," as he put his hands together. "My name is Walter, and I love being around kids, so I come here. I had to quit school when I was 10 because my family needed money. Even though I didn't go to school, I kept learning by going to the library. I would stay there for hours, reading books and learning from online tools," Walter said. "I even volunteered at a few local schools on the weekends, but I could never fulfill my dream of becoming a teacher." "I'm sorry for what you went through, Walter," Mr. Jones said. "Well, I don't give them out for free," Walter said with a smile. Before I come here, I make up a few questions and reward the kids who answer them correctly. Walter took a piece of paper out of his bag and gave it to Mr. Jones to look at. Walter said, "I made these last night." After reading the questions and hearing Walter's sad story, Mr. Jones felt bad that he had questioned Walter's motives. It was clear that Walter loved teaching and wanted his students to feel the same way about learning. "I have a thought." Mr. Jones was happy. "I can help you live out your dream, Walter." "It's too late now," Walter said with a chuckle. "It's too late to become a teacher." "Come on, Walter," yelled Mr. Jones. "You can start at any time." Walter looked away and said, "Thanks for thinking of me, but I can't live with any more false hopes. I'm going to leave now." "Wait." Walter was stopped by Mr. Jones. "Give me your phone number before you leave." Walter gave Mr. Jones his phone number, thanked him, and left. After meeting Mr. Jones, he was happy, but he was sure that his dream would never come true. He had no idea that the nice teacher would keep his promise and call him soon with an exciting chance. Later that day, Mr. Jones told the director about Walter and how much he loved being a teacher. "I haven't met many people with as much drive as Walter," Mr. Jones yelled out. When he talked about how much he loved being a teacher, I could see a spark in his eyes. "He could be a great addition to our school, I think." "Are you being serious?" Mr. Albert was joking. "Well, I think we can give him a chance," said Mr. Jones. "I'd like to be his guide and see if the school is a good fit for him. We might let him sign up for it. How do you feel?" "That sounds reasonable," Mr. Albert said with a slow nod. "Okay, you can invite him to a training program that lasts 5 weeks. It will help us figure out how good he is." "Many thanks, Mr. Albert," Mr. Jones yelled out. "I will give him a call right away." After getting a call from Mr. Jones the night before, Walter went to school the next morning. When he walked into a classroom full of kids, he smiled from ear to ear. "I want you to sit here and watch me teach, all right?" Mr. Jones told Walter what to do in a nice way. Walter was happy to have Mr. Jones as his teacher, and he used this time to learn as much as he could. Over the next 5 weeks, Walter helped Mr. Jones plan lessons, run classroom games, and grade homework. Mr. Jones asked Walter to teach the kids during the last week of the training program. "I know that you can do it." Mr. Jones gave him a cheer. Walter felt like he had done everything in life after he gave an elementary school history lesson. After class was over, he sat on a chair and cried from happiness. "Hey! What's up?" Mr. Jones inquired. "I can't believe that my dream finally came true." Walter was sad. "Many thanks, Mr. Jones. I will always be grateful to you for giving me this chance." "Come on, Walter," Mr. Jones said with a pat on the back. "You still have a long way to go." Then, he took Walter to another class where he had to get the kids ready for a science competition. Walter sat next to Mr. Jones and watched him do things. A few minutes later, Walter realized that Mr. Jones didn't have enough books to prepare the kids and didn't have enough tools. The necessary books were not in the school library, but Walter knew he had them at home. But he didn't tell Mr. Jones about the books until the next day. "I brought these books so the kids could prepare for the science competition," Walter said as he handed the books to Mr. Jones. "Oh my!" Mr. Jones was happy as he took the books. He looked at them all and thanked Walter for his kindness. Walter said, "I just wanted to say thanks for everything you did for me, Mr. Jones." "You don't have to thank me for anything, Walter," the teacher said. "You are here because you deserve to be." Mr. Jones spent the whole day using Walter's materials to get his kids ready for the science challenge. So, the kids won the game, and Mr. Jones thanked Walter for his help. "You helped them win, Walter." Mr. Jones was happy. "What you did showed how much you care about helping children learn. You belong in the classroom." Soon, Mr. Albert called Walter into his office to tell him how well he had done. "Walter, you did an amazing job during the mentorship program," Mr. Albert told us. "Mr. Jones told me about your growth and how you brought books from your home library. Thank you for trying so hard." When Walter's headmaster said nice things about him, he couldn't help but smile. He had never thought that this day would happen to him. Walter thought that Mr. Albert would tell him to leave at that point, but what happened next changed Walter's life for good. Mr. Albert put his hands on his desk and said, "Walter, I'd like to offer you a full-time teaching job at our school." "What?" Walter let out a gasp of shock. "A full-time job as a teacher?" "Yes," he said with a nod. "But I want you to finish a program to get a teaching certificate before you go to work. It will help you get better at what you do." "I just can't believe this." Walter put his hands over his face. A few weeks later, Walter walked into the elementary school building as a full-time teacher. His dream had come true. As he walked into the classroom for the first lesson of his new job, he could feel his heart beating faster. As the years went by, Walter helped the kids win many awards and events between schools. In the meantime, his friendship with Mr. Jones grew, and he was always thankful to him for how his life had changed because of him. That's it for today, friends. Please let us know what you think about this story. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon for more amazing stories.